Our esteemed doctors, practitioners, students, and passionate seekers of homeopathic wisdom joining us today. Thank you for being with us for what is truly going to be a very special and inspiring session. Today, we are not simply discussing a book, we are opening the doors to a remarkable journey. A journey of clinical discovery, intellectual discipline, mentorship, and years of profound learning. Now, there are certain books that arrive as publications, and then there are those rare books that arrive as experiences. Books that carry within them years of observation, precious clinical encounters, untold lessons, and the distilled wisdom gathered under the guidance of a true master. Today, we are here to explore one such extraordinary work, Dedicated Decade, a treasure chest of carefully gathered insights from Dr. Abhishek Joshi, Homeopathic Journey with Dr. Farooq Master. A sincere student spent years learning under one of the homeopathy's most respected figures, Dr. Farooq J. Master, preserving those priceless learnings and gifting them to the entire homeopathic fraternity through a book. Today, we are exciting to have directly hearing from the author himself, Dr. Abhishek Joshi. Dr. Joshi received extensive clinical training in diagnosing and managing complex pathological cases under the mentorship of Dr. Farooq J. Master, while also contributing closely to his academic and literary work. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Abhishek Joshi. Dr. Joshi, we are absolutely delighted to have you with us today.
Hi, hello everyone. Thank you so much, Dr. Nuri. Thank you so much, BJN House, Homeopathy 360. Uh, it is really very special. Uh, BJN House not being just the biggest publication house for homeopathy, but they have given opportunity to lot of young doctors. This time it's my turn, but they have made sure that the constant motivation to write has been kept up by the generations of uh, hard work that BJ House has put in. And this time it's turned that Dr. Manish Jain, Sri Manish Jain, is like an elder brother. He has been supportive, I think, not just to me, but every homeopath that he comes in touch with. And he really, really keeps motivating everybody who knows him personally will endorse this, that whoever comes in contact with him will understand how positive the man is and what optimism he influxes in others.
Absolutely. We are truly delighted to have you with us, and our audience is, I'm sure, eager to look forward to hearing the fascinating story behind this incredible work. So, before we begin, a quick note for the audience. Audience, if you have any questions for Dr. Abhishek Joshi related to his book, please put them in the Q&A box given below on your Zoom window, and we'll try to take them in the end of the session with Dr. Joshi. To begin with, Dr. Joshi, can you take us back to how your association with Dr. Farooq J. Master began? I mean, was it a planned mentorship or a coincidence or a destiny?
So I would say it was destiny to begin with, and then it was taken ahead with hard work. So I remember I was in it was 2007. It was my second year. And when you're in college, whoever has recently passed out or is still in college while you're listening this, you will understand that the primary focus of every student is to write answers. That we want to just make sure that my answer is perfect and I get good marks. Initially, in first year and second year, you're not exposed to a lot of clinical things, and I was in undergraduate. My undergraduation is from Pune, from Dhondu Mama Sate Homeopathic Medical College. It's a very prestigious college from Pune. And it's like every other student, I was in search that how can I make my answers perfect. And in the library, I asked my librarian, do you have any books where, because in Allen's keynote, if you have to write a drug picture of silicia, it's just 1.5 page, 1 page. How can you elaborate that when you are very new, when you have not experienced? If somebody will ask me today, I can write 10 pages on silicia, but a first year and second year student will not be able to do so. So he
True.
introduced me. He said, एक छोटा booklet है, sandy silicia. So I said, okay, this is very nice. So Dr. I read the Dr. Farooq Master sir's name, Sandy Salisha. Then I said, और books हैं क्या? So he gave me a whole bunch of books that Dr. Master has written. So there is Mr. Lycopodium, then there is Mysterious Thuja, and then there is Naja Naja Naja, and he gave me a whole bunch, and he said, so I said, wow, yeah, somebody has written one, though it was 50 pages, but I said 50 pages is good enough. Out of 50 pages, if I concise it and write it in 3 pages, 4 pages, 10 pages, I'll still get good marks. I was very impressed. I said, yeah, very nice. I in the last page, then you when you read a book, it's about author. Sir, अरे ये तो सर तो मुंबई से ही है. Said very nice, sir. I'll surely try and get in touch with him. And then his introduction, and then I went on internet and read about him. Obviously, many of the things I read it on BJN websites all only. So I said very nice, sir. This is. I was very impressed by his those small booklets. And then when I read more, and then I got to know about Khandala workshops happening. I attended few Khandala workshops, and by the end of my graduation, I approached his clinic, and there was this one person was assigned who can attend, who will attend new students, and then
Hmm.
she said, Dr. Master, that एक student आया है पुणे से just pass out हुआ है, and luckily. I was very fortunate. It used to take time. In those times when there were a lot of students. These days now this online thing post-COVID
Yes.
has paralyzed all the students to enroll for artificial intelligence. So there is no personal student-teacher mentorship happening much. But those days were wonderful. So I went, I joined him, and then there was no looking back. So it was initially destiny, but later on, it was hard work that he put in me. Before I could start working hard for him, he had already started working hard. He loves all his students very much, and I'm really fortunate that I have received so much of love, knowledge, and a lot of things from him.
Perfect. What a fascinating story it is. I'm sure God planned really great things
Yes,
for you.
yes.
A decade with Dr. Farooq Master is something very few homeopaths can claim. What was that single moment or a time during this journey that made you feel that, now I want a book out of this? This should come out as a book. Please tell us about that.
So it was only recently, I think 1 or 2 years back. So I was very fortunate that I not just joined him, but I used to travel a lot with him. So he used to take me to all seminars all over India, wherever it was possible, to Delhi, to different places in Maharashtra, wherever in India there was possible. He used to say, "Chal mere saath." So I used to write a lot of everything in my notes. So I had a lot of long books. I had a bunch of long books that were filled with him. And recently, when uh, for 1 or 2 years, I have started practicing independently, and I used to sit in my when there are no patients in clinic. So I used to sit and revise all the notes and I had a habit of writing on my notes the date, time, and place where this was taught to me.
Hmm.
So I thought I was very fortunate enough that I think one of its kind students who is with his teacher for a very long period of time. There are a lot of in India or abroad, there are a lot of doctors who are mentoring students, but the time span was, I think I had a good time span and I
Yes.
had a good collection of all notes. So I said, even if I try to write a book, it's not. I tell everybody it's not an authored book. It is all his notes. It is all his teachings. I'm just a compiler. So this compilation, if it reaches to somebody who can read, who can go through this, and if something strikes to his head and it changes his life, I think it will serve the purpose that Dr. Master has lived his life with. He always wanted to uh, change life of students, that how you can upskill yourself, how you can improve your practice. He still keeps inspiring all of us that you have to keep studying, you have to keep yourself surrounded by teachers, by clinicians, and just make sure that your skills are always being upgraded. Each year, you should feel that I'm better than previous year. So I said maybe this will add on to somebody who has never had a chance to even meet Dr. Master in person for 5 minutes. I have spent such a long time, day in, day out, traveling with him, eating with him, laughing with him. I said, या तो मैं दो चीज कर सकता हूँ. Either I can write about my personal life journey, but I said that will be too selfish. About then it'll be like I'm talking about myself, that how I really enjoyed. I said I think people will not benefit out of that. It'll be a good story to listen because
Yes.
the kind of journey I've had, it'll be very cinematic experience to hear. But ultimately, at the end of this book, nobody will benefit anything. It is
Yes.
better to write his notes, compile his notes, bring it out in front of people, let them go through this. Even if out of 300 pages, 100 pages go to your head, I'm sure you will earn lot of knowledge and lot of money.
I believe this is exactly what makes this book such a meaningful contribution to our literature. Uh, Although we are here today to learn to your cinematic story, most welcome to share everything that you can. Taking it further, what is that one prescribing principle of Dr. Master that is rarely discussed publicly, but it is very important clinically that you have tried to include in the book that you would like to share?
So I have tried to highlight one point that like whoever has heard about Dr. Master, he is, I think, torchbearer of classical homeopathy. People look at him as a role model for classical homeopathy. But at the same time, he is a master of uh, uh, materia medica where it comes to pointers. He'll point
Yes.
out such things from Allen's keynote, Boric, Clark, which is very, very rare, which you might have not heard. And not just he will highlight those points, he will highlight it to you in front of patients.
Wow.
So when this patient is talking, he'll say, Clark का ये drug खोलो, ये line पढ़ो, and is this patient not talking the same thing? And we used to say, oh my God. So
Amazing.
when you are practicing, I also had good fortune of attending a lot of other senior physicians of whom we can call as contemporaries of Dr. Master.
Hmm.
But then when you are practicing for many years, no, you ultimately tend to form your own method,
Right.
which he has not.
Hmm.
So one thing which he did not do was to formulate a method, which everybody else in his contemporaries has done it. You name
Yes.
it, and they will have their own branch of thoughts, which he never had. He just said, Hahnemann is the father, Organon is your book. But he every time he'll keep teaching you, he'll keep bringing up these things that how you're still missing out something. He'll say, maybe abhi seekh raha hu. He'll not
Hmm.
say that because he's very humble, he's very ground.
Yes.
So that's what he induces in us. Okay, down to earth raho, padhte raho. Don't try to uh, boast yourself too much because the surrounding is such. But make sure that everybody who is around you will benefit from you. You benefit from somebody else. You make your own group of people who will discuss your success, failures, everything. But make sure that anybody who is around you should benefit from your learnings and teachings also.
True. I think the audience can feel the sincerity on every page of this book with this thing that you have told.
I hope they are liking it.
Absolutely. Let us now dive deeper into what readers can actually expect from the book. Uh, how Dedicated Decade is fundamentally different from other books of homeopathic materia medica. What is the layout? Give us something about that also.
So I started getting, as soon as I this book went into the market, a lot of seniors wanted to read it because we had published poster release had happened and everybody was waiting that when this book will come out, and they grabbed the copies. And first month of sale itself, like we have started sale from 24th February. So first month itself, in the month of March and April, I got a lot of reviews, and they said one thing which was common as which is actually the intent of the book. They saying they said that there is no continuity to this book. Like first chapter is not connected to the second chapter, second is not connected to the third chapter. So I said, because it's my notes.
Yes.
It is not you, whoever is reading this book will always feel that each chapter is independent of itself. Because see, as I said, I used to travel a lot. So whenever he's free, he's a true teacher in its form. He used to just start, एक काम कर लिखना शुरू कर, आज मूड है ये पढ़ाने का.
Hmm.
Nice, we've seen a nice case. So you start writing notes. So he'll share everything. So we don't have a continuity of this book. We'll try to, and we are on process to write book 2 and book 3, because there are a lot of notes that I want to share with everybody. So we are trying to formulate things, but I don't similarly on the same page. I don't want to make it look very artificial. Take it in its original form, whatever you're reading. So whichever page you will open, you will find it's a fresh page and does not connect to the previous or after pages to it.
Right. So it speaks volume about the vision of Dr. Master,
Yes,
as well as, you
yes,
know,
yes, yes, exactly.
your dedication to it is commendable. If we look at the contents of the book, as we go through the index, there are materia medica of various remedies. Then we go to the repertory tips, and then you have added cases also. Then
Yes.
clinical conditions with their therapeutics. Is there any part of the book that Dr. Farooq Majay Master has the strongest imprint that you can tell about?
Okay. So you go to YouTube and you search about Dr. Farooq Master. There's his YouTube channel. So obviously he was never interested in all these things. So when I was with him, we started this YouTube channel, and the first video that was put, you can go to the oldest, you can filter through the oldest, and you'll find the first video is Nux Omega. So it was his teachings, and I was not very tech savvy at that time. You can see, though I used to write it on a PowerPoint, the notes, and that each PowerPoint was taken as a clip, and this whole video I've made of Nux Swamika. I think it has more than 100K views now on
Okay.
YouTube. Because 10 years old now.
Mm.
So 100K views there. So that drug, no, if you go through that drug, if you read Nux Omega, what Dr. Master has taught you, never in your practice you are going to miss Nux Omega patient in your life. Never, never. I can vouch on it. And similarly, in this book, and there are a lot of drugs that he has taught like this, almost all polycrest. In this book, there is sulfur, and the sulfur which he mentions, you pick this book up, you read sulfur, you read it 2 times. It is so easily taught and so beautifully taught. I have just written his words. Nothing from my own side. I have not added a full stop and a comma from my side. It is pure Dr. Farooq Master's teaching. Sulfur, if you read it and you write it to me in this comment section, in this whenever this video goes in YouTube or on my Instagram, you message it to me. If you don't like it, you can throw this book on my page, on my face. I will vouch for that chapter. It's beautifully taught. It is, and once you read this sulfur, never in your life, if a sulfur demanding patient is sitting in front of you, you will miss it out. Take it from me.
Excellent. Although I believe the entire book in itself is excellent source. Dr. Joshi, considering years of this clinical learning into a book, often which is an immense responsibility to compile the entire content, what was the biggest challenge in compiling this kind of a work?
The
Anything that you
volume.
felt?
Volume
Ah,
is the I had to filter a lot of things because it's too voluminous. If you're sitting with somebody and learning for 10 years, you can imagine the volume of work that I have with me. So to filter out that what might be helpful, to also to make it very student friendly, to make sure that because a lot of scribbling had happened, because when I was writing my notes, I never had this thing in mind that this will come out in this form of book. So I thought that let's try to compile this book, and let's try to help. let's try if some people can benefit it from you. So compilation of such huge work was the biggest challenge.
Of course. This conversation shows that glimpse of making a clinical wisdom, something that we don't learn from our textbook, So this experience is something that we are learning today.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, Dr. Abhishek, often students who are, in the beginning of their career or young practitioners who have just begun the practice, they make mistake while learning the remedies and, when they go into mathematics, how this book can help them overall.
So this book, I would say, it's not for students who are in college. It is for early practitioners, because it is compilation of work from Dr. Master's practice. So it will not help you write answers. It will not help you answer vivas. It will help you understand drug when you've already started applying it, when you've started using it, and maybe it will help you look at it in a very different way, which you have missed out. So it'll give you a view from somebody who has had an extensive practice. So I'm just giving you a bird's eye view that if you were at the end of 40-45 years of practice, what would you have seen? So it's just a gist of it. Obviously, you have to go back to the roots and verify everything and then use it in your own practice.
Excellent, excellent. With your close association with Dr. Master, what is the most memorable, personal advice he gave you? Something that you would like to share with your audience?
So that one advice which he has given me, which I've also mentioned in the preface of the book, which is very, very relatable these days. It's a very competitive world out there where people are trying that I want to take webinars, I want to formulate courses for myself, and I'll do this and I'll do that. So maybe it's like taking a shortcut, or maybe not, each to themselves. But one advice that he gave to me was that it is a very negative and a competitive world out there. Maybe it was his time or this time. The principle of jealousy and principle of extreme competitiveness still continues. He said, always surround yourself with intellectual people. And when you're surrounded by intellectuals who are not insecure of sharing knowledge, you will always keep progressing, because progressing by improving your skill set and seeing patients in clinic rather than formulating these courses, rather than formulating uh, other things which are now available in market. Rather than that, focus on that you should have heavy practice first. So first make sure that you have a huge practice, and obviously from your own practice and experience, if you start teaching others, that's really beneficial, rather than if you've recently passed out and you start formulating such short stories to make it more look fancy. But it will be more beneficial to listeners only when you have your own practice. So that was also one reason that I never wanted to compile such a book before it was 10 years, because 10 years is something where you can then vouch that it is a decade full of hard work that you've put in, that people have put in you. So it gives kind of a validation to you. So he used to give this nice quote to me, कि ज्ञानी से ज्ञानी मिले तो करे ज्ञान
Mhm.
की बात, और गधे से गधा मिले तो करे लातम लात. So he said,
Yes,
अगर गधे मिलेंगे तो एक दूसरे को लात ही मारेंगे, और ज्ञानी मिलेंगे तो हमेशा ज्ञान की बात करेंगे. So always surround
absolutely.
yourself with good knowledgeable people rather than people who make a fuss about it.
Wonderful, wonderful. Naturally, it brings me to my next question. If Dr. Farooq Master were watching this conversation, what would you tell him or what would you thank him for the most?
He's very busy. I'm sure he will never watch this video. But yeah, if I have to, but I have to possibly thank him for everything. He is everything that I look around today when I'm just sitting by myself. I see everything around myself is blessing, gift, whatever words you can use, adjectives for this. It is his, my knowledge, my practice, the way I study, the way I read, the way there's my library behind me. You can see he has 10 times bigger library than this in his house, in his clinic. So to maintain a library, to keep reading good, authentic books, everything that I actually do in my life, even in personal life. Now I feel that I was so much with him that now the way I have been living is, it's actually in a way how he lives it. And also, I met my wife in his clinic. So
Uh,
possibly everything that I have in my life is now a gift of his. So always I'm in state of gratitude for him.
Wonderful. An absolute blessing, I have to say. Audience, if you have any questions, please put them up and we'll take them from Dr. Joshi. I have the book in my hand. Audience is trying to know. Dr. Joshi, you can also show the book to the audience. This
Yeah,
is
so
the
I think
wonderful book.
there is this question. Please tell me the name of the book. Where do I read sulfur? Yes. So, ma'am, I this is anonymous attendee. So it
Yes,
is this book which Doctor is holding, and I myself. This book we are discussing today. And in this book, if you go to page number 78, I started right with the sulfur is written. It is few pages. It is not a short read. So once you read it, you will know how detailed it is. Yeah.
perfect. Anything from the audience side?
Good afternoon, Dr. Abhishek Joshi, Y. Rao. Good afternoon, Dr. Y. Rao. Very nice. Thank you so much for attending. Thank you so much for listening. Dr. Arvind is writing, please don't use the word drug using the okay, Dr. Arvind, I will use the word remedy instead of drug. Thank you for your guidance. Any other questions? If we have any other questions, if you have, I'd like to answer that.
What has been your longest association overseas? How long have you been outside for any webinar or a, event where you had a different, experience with Dr. Master? And
So I
how is the audience outside with him? The Indian audience as compared to the foreign audience.
So in foreign, luckily in India, no, we are very fortunate. We all should celebrate this. All thanks to the government of India, who has recognized homeopathy as a formal system of medicine. We have Ministry of Ayush supporting us all the time. In overseas, except for I think Brazil, nobody else is recognizing homeopathy as a system of medicine. So
Yes.
overseas people are not full-time homeopaths; they are part-time homeopaths.
Hmm.
Very rarely they are very rarely you will find who is one who is retired from his work will start practicing only homeopathy. So world I started traveling. First time I went abroad was Thailand, which was to teach in Dr. Master School. Second time when I went was with him to Turkey and to Bulgaria. So it was for quite 20, 10, 12 days that we went out, and we saw that there is in the West, if you go to beyond Middle East, if you go, there is a lot of sensitivity in people. Uh, I'm talking from susceptibility point of view. So the practice and prescribing will change when you are prescribing or practicing beyond Middle East and towards our side. If you see towards the Asian, Southeastern Asia, the ethnicity is different and the sensitivity is different. So technique of prescribing, which I've seen by myself and obviously under guidance of Dr. Farooq Master, it is very different. So that is what I have seen. Obviously, people are very much interested in learning, so you get exposed to if you want if you're teaching and if you're a teacher, if you want to teach abroad, there is definitely a good opportunity out there. But then you don't expect them to actually prescribe and practice as much as you do here in India or in Brazil.
True, true. Absolutely true. Dr. Arvind is saying, please organize another webinar after a month or so after we have read the book. So let's see. We'll plan for the audience
Yes.
and get their
Sure.
reviews.
Sure, Doctor.
Anything else, Dr. Abhishek, that you would like to add and give to the audience about the book as we
No, I
approach?
just want that it's a small initiative from my side. Any publication house will only continue. So I have a lot of things that I want to share with all of you. This is the first of its kind. If you can step ahead, take this book in your hand, grab a copy for yourself, give us a review to BJ House or to me in person in this comment section, wherever you want to. But do grab a copy and give your reviews. It will only help, because if this good number of sales happen, only then part two and part three get part. So my target is that I have the number of pages that I have ready with me and I'm trying to edit is approximately 1000 and approximately 1100 pages. So if you will appreciate this in any form, maybe a negative, a constructive criticism is always welcome. And is this the first time that I have compiled something? So if you have anything that you want to share with me, please come ahead, but make sure that you have read the copy, you have gone through few pages, and you let me know only, and then I can come back in part two and part three in a much better way, which your constructive criticism will help us.
Absolutely. This has been very, wonderful to listen from you. As we approach at the end of this wonderful interaction, I would sincerely thank Dr. Joshi for taking time out to share his experiences that breathe life into this pages of Dedicated Decade. This book stands as a beautiful testament to that journey of learning, mentorship, and sincere dedication to the science and art of homeopathy. To our wonderful audience, thank you for joining us and being part of this enriching conversation. We invite all of you to please explore and discover the pearls hidden within the pages of Dedicated Decade. We have one more question. Yes, people are saying thank you. And thank you, Dr. Joshi, for taking time out. Thank you, everyone. Have a wonderful evening ahead and stay connected with Homeopathy 360. Looking forward to the reviews for Dedicated Decade. Thank you so
Thanks.
much.
Take care. Bye bye.
You too.